What's going on YouTube? TeamSC back online here. Been putting a dent in my playlist of games to cast today. Been casting a bunch of them left and right. Should be uploading them over the next couple of days to the next couple of weeks. Gonna probably space them out, do an upload every couple of days just to keep the channel active. But anyways, this game was played a little bit a couple weeks ago before a couple of patches. As you can see, my username here is half-hearted instead of TeamSC back when they had that issue going on. But thankfully it's reverted now. But let's go ahead and introduce our players. We do have me, TeamSC, spawning as the blue Terran with the alternate name half-hearted, with none other than my allies here, Decoy spawning as the red Zerg, and we do have our favorite random player, Instant Asian. Don't mistake him, his name is actually Spec, and we are going to be facing off today against three other players: Zoda, the orange Terran, his ally, Pepitas, the purple Terran, and none other than Ruma, the yellow Terran. Now we do have wide-scale, large Terran warfare that's going to be happening in this game, guys. We do have pretty much Terran versus Terran with a little bit of Zerg to spice things up. So we do have Instant Asian going to be going for more of a bio army, and I am going to be going for more of a mech-based army. Now both are incredibly good on this map because we do have access to two pretty easy to secure expansions here, because there is a wall down here that we could defend easily with a couple of tanks. Don't have to commit too much. Then we do have a fourth base we can take here, a little bit of a wide surface area to attack into, but this one will usually be a planetary, so we should typically be okay. Mech can be very strong, especially tanks, mines, liberators, anything moving along the ground paths to the north or the south on this map, because there's really not a lot of ways. I mean, the path down here is wider, but there's a lot of little, well, it's not really a little ramp, but there's a lot of space for things to funnel. There's only two ground paths, and there's no big large area to kind of get us around on anything. It's pretty much move one direction on the ground path. The only issue though is that there is this large airspace in the middle, so any kind of sky compositions are also really good, and in this case we're up against three Terran, so Terran bio would actually be pretty good on this map, especially since these destructible rocks need to be broken. Bio has a lot of areas they can drop on, a lot of expansions, just a lot of surface area. You can just go anywhere with the medevacs, so definitely benefits to both army compositions. So we'll see what our enemy decides to do. If they were three Terrans, I'm sure one would go for ground, one would go for bio, and one would go for maybe Sky Terran or just tech up to battle cruisers or something like that. But anyways, we're just going to be playing this safe, going to be taking another base, going to be macroing up, got my expansion here on the way. A Reaper going to be coming in for Ruma. Don't have anything here left to deal with this. Going to be opening up with Hellions, I believe, to kind of just make sure we have enough on the board to deal with any Reapers. This is typically what I like to do, especially with team games. I know Terran versus Terran, Reaper micro, and all the Reaper shenanigans that go on can be kind of a monstrosity, but team games we usually have a little bit extra time to kind of tech up, so we can get some Hellions and then just definitely hard counter the Reapers. So once we have a couple of Hellions, we don't have to worry about Mass Reaper, and that's definitely a concern going into this, considering we're up against three Terrans, which is part of the reason why I just went for Reactor Hellions. Since an Asian over here going to be going quick Stimpack. Stimpack actually already about to be done before he even has a unit on the map. Typical spec build. Just go straight for tech, forget units. Stimpack almost done though. It does have one Marauder here on the board. And our ally Decoy got some roaches on the way. It does have speed research and does have a second base here. It should be taking a third fairly shortly. So just like a little bit of a roach speedling play for him. Maybe tech up to some Ravagers as well. But speedlings are going to be very good, especially if our enemies go for drops, as they can kind of rally and defend our bases quite quick.
Moving across the map
just to take a little poke, see if we get anything done. They are Terran, they will most likely have walls upon walls, so we just want to kind of get some vision. Going to be parking out here for the meantime, just trying to catch some Reapers that might be going across the map, but nothing here. Thinking twice about going up the ramp. Don't want to just throw these Hellions away, but might need to just to kind of get a scout off. So we're just going to be parking there for now, just keeping an eye on that bottom ramp. And since we have the Hellions on the map, I know nothing's attacking at this moment. Going to be dropping down a third expansion behind this, because we will need the econ, especially if we're going to be going for a mech-based army. Meanwhile, Instant Asian taken up, does have Stimpack finished. Going to be finally throwing down some barracks. This one Marauder though, fear him, he can stem and kill anything. Hellion's going to be moving across the map. Do you see a drop out here for Pepitas? Going to be having his tank siege up. Going to force Instant Asian to get all his SUVs out here, and actually cancels both barracks. I don't think he needed to actually drop the cancel on those barracks. He's going to be very behind. He's got stim research, but no bio here to deal with any of this. Going to be bringing the Hellions, just getting right on top of the tank and just going straight for the tank. Hellions suck against tanks, but there's only one tank you can kind of afford to take that kind of counter engagement. And we do have a Banshee here, so they are going for a wide variety of tech. Going to be sniping out my SV that was going for that missile turret. I do have one missile turret back in my home base. Should be able to defend this, but this is unfortunate because we're going to be dealing some damage, destroying the SCVs, building the additional factory. So we only have one factory to pump things out of. Need to get a couple cycles to kind of help zone out this Banshee, but he does have a cloak ready to go. and he is going to be getting free picks on a lot of SCVs. I need to get these SCVs out of here. Not really sure what I'm paying attention to. I'm just kind of in a little fit of panic. Actually, just focusing on getting turrets at my bases and trying to make sure that expansion stays going up. A couple Hellions here going to be moving it back to the cover of the turret, but we do have a lot of things going down. Even the Roma can be moving across some Marines across the map. And this look, he's actually getting ready to push. Has a lot of Marines here. I do have this command center, but I have nothing to do with these Marines. There's a handful of Hellions, but we'll see if they can actually do some damage to the Marines. A couple Ravagers from Decoy can be coming out trying to cast a couple corrosive bombs to try to get the pick on those Banshees. And actually, Missile Turret does pick off that Banshee just in time. Spec can be resaturating his bases, but only has 2 barracks up in production right now. A couple medevacs, but needs to build a bunch of bio, getting a couple Cyclones. These Marines going to be moving in, going to be using the Hellions trying to get them while they're in a funnel. We do have a couple Cyclones here. With these Cyclones, we should be able to clear out this army. It does stim, but a little bit late. If he had stimmed right at the start, it would have been a different fight. But we do manage to clean it up and hold on for just another moment longer. But he does have, he's got a tank and a Cyclone coming in on top of all the Marines. So a little bit of a mixed army here for Doom. And meanwhile, Pupitas is dropping again. Going to be trying to do whatever damage he can, being very annoying to Spec's production, not able to get those barracks up, and still trying to get those 2 factories of having to be able to secure me up. So I am only pumping out of 1 factory. Going to be piling some minerals here pretty soon because we can't actually build enough. We're not even building anything right now. We're taking off our game hardcore while this harassed the enemy team's doing, but we're going to be moving in. Ruma here with this yellow army, going to be pushing the Cyclones and Marines coming in, can be going ham on my 3rd expansion, bringing some Cyclones back, but these Hellions are being retarded and actually on rally command following the Cyclones, not actually doing any damage. I'm actually going to be forced to get out of here. Even Brimple and the boys bringing the SCVs off to the line to try to fight this back, but we have no army firing behind us. So this is actually suicide for my SCVs. Don't need to be doing that. Should have actually pulled them out. A little bit of a judgment call on my part. We do lose everything. I have a command center, so we're going to have to try to lift them off and get them out of there. Going to be going straight for my command center. I don't know what I'm paying attention to. I'm just really off my game today. I think it's just, I don't even know. I don't even know, guys. Command center going down the red. I am getting wrecked at this point. Even Cyclone going to be locking on, and this command center 100 health, 80, 60, and it's going to be dead. Decoy coming to my aid, has a bunch of roaches around here, going to be helping to deal with this push, and we do have my other command center, which manages to survive, did lose half the health, though, unfortunately, and actually just really bad game for me, guys. Got those 3 bases and then just kind of got picked apart by all the harass from the enemy team, so good job on the enemy team. They've been doing a really good job keeping us in our bases. This has allowed them to expand freely. Pupi here going up for 3 expansions on the way, even Zoda taking another base for himself. And we do have Ruma taking 2 bases for himself. So they are expanding, taking all the bases. So this is going to be a long macro game, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, we are just trying to get ourselves situated again. Do have our 2nd base, which is good. I'm going to be trying to retake that 3rd base, but Ruma being very annoying, just has some Cyclones marching in here and just doing a lot of damage to me. Have a couple of Cyclones of my own now. Finally been able to get some production going and going to be able to clean this Cyclone up and save this base, thankfully. Meanwhile, Spec, on the other hand, has finally got some production going, got his barracks up, so now he can actually have some units to stim and attack the enemy. Does have +1 on the upgrades and does have a huge missile turret wall here because he doesn't want to get dropped anymore. Meanwhile, Decoy going for a couple of, what's his unit name? Yeah, that's right, the Swarm Host. A couple of Swarm Hosts with the Roaches and Ravagers here. Has his 3rd base on the way as well. And does look like we've managed to stabilize for a little bit. Going to be throwing up a turret ring because you kind of need to zone out those drops, especially if you're playing Mech, which is a immobile army composition. But we do have a bunch of factories finally. Going to be building Hellions 4 at a time, even getting 5 Hellions because we don't have the gas to quite build any siege tanks at this moment. But we do have a decent chunk of Cyclones here. Going to be working on taking a 4th base here pretty soon, and then we can really start to macro and hopefully do a little bit of damage and counter push the enemy. But meanwhile, the enemy Terrans left unchecked. They're just building more and more. Do have some medevacs here on the way. Do have Instant Agent finally coming out with the drop of Zone. Going to be doing some damage to Mr. Pupe here since he dropped us. Spec getting a lot of damage. Going to be going for that command center. Nope, just trying to kill the army here. And going to be focusing the command center a little bit. Command center is getting a little low, but actually he's just choosing to take the engagement. Actually, good play, good play. But more Marines here, a lot of medevacs. The Spec should probably get out of there. These Marines here do have +1 attack as well. And they have superior medevac numbers, so all of these army is going to be pretty much dead. Medevac's going to be running, just leaving that Marauder to die. And just going back to home base. Meanwhile, a little push here for myself. Time to kind of do a little counter push in the attack this whole game, trying to get some damage done here. Going to be killing a couple of these SCVs. Should have had this Hellions following that, but no big deal. Going to be trying locking onto these Terran bases in the air, and a couple more workers here going to be moving the Hellions up, trying to get some damage done and deal with it, and really just trying to do whatever harassment we can. But we do have a push here at the bottom, another drop here coming down for Zoda. We do have action all over the map. Just get a good pick on that drop ship. Only 4 Marines in there, not going to do too much. But all the bio is coming home now, and we should have actually got this mech out while we had the chance. We're going to be trapped. A lot too many Marines here to deal with all this. Cyclones are good, Hellions are good, but not against this many Marines, especially with Stim. So we do actually lose our entire army. Bad game for me, very bad. But we did a little damage, we did stall a little mining. Kind of put him up against the ropes, but not as much as we would like. So going to be back at the home base, going to be macroing up again. Do have one tank here, so we should be okay against any push that comes. Got a second tank on the way, going to be putting it on the high ground just to keep him nice and spaced out so we don't lose everything. And there's a big push coming in. Purple moving all of some Marines here, but he does have a lot of medevac, so we could actually drop on top of these tanks. We don't have anything to help zone that out yet. We do have Soda here being very annoying, dropping the Zerg base, keeping the Zerg back at home, and just juggling between them. And this is the power of the Bio guys, very mobile, a lot of areas to drop, and just really exploiting that. You know, it's only 3 Marines, but the fact that he's keeping our attention here at the home base instead of allowing us to do other things like macro up or attack them. And we do have Purple doing what I feared, does drop my one tank. I do have one more tank here on the high ground, a couple Hellions coming out, but really not getting a break this game. These Marines going to be going for my command center again. And we might lose this a second time, just focusing it down. Still only +1 upgrades, trying to save my command center. Spec here coming in with his troops, and we do actually manage to save that command center thanks to Spec's reinforcing troops. Do have one tank here, and command center does live. But meanwhile, we do have his ally Ruma bringing some more Terran in. Pupitus is going to be coming back with his dropships. Still have that tank here on the high ground. We do have a second tank here down below, and we do have the support of the Bio now. So this should be an okay engagement. We should be able to defend this just fine. Meanwhile, Decoy is going to be breaking the brawn of the rocks and going for a counter push on his own, since we've been playing pretty much defensive this whole game. Spec doing good work, getting a lot of medevac picks. This is huge. He does take the lead on medevac counts, does put the Purple Terran back into the Stone Age for a little bit. He's going to have to try to remacro get all those medevacs. All those medevacs had a lot of energy. It's a lot of healing, guys. Meanwhile, Instant Agent here taking his third base. Decoy just teching up, getting upgrades, transitioning into Hydra Den. Also got the Infestation Pit down, which we knew because he had this Swarm Host. That's what the unit's called. Yeah. Anyways, should be pushing here shortly, but we do have a small calm before the hurricane. Meanwhile, everybody's got pretty much all the bases taken. Zoda taking the last base. Only thing left to take are these front bases here, but we do have our 3 bases up. We do finally have some good saturation mining going. Just going to be getting these last 2 gases and getting more SCVs, and then we can finally take the 4th base and actually really get a big army out. We got 5 factors here on the way, even the starport as well. Gonna have to make sure we get some Vikings to support this because we can't lose. We have to make sure we have control of the sky, especially with all these tanks. Otherwise, Terran could just drop on you or get 1 Liberator and pretty much wreck your day when you're going for ground mech. Anyways, Swarm Hosts here are going to be trying to be annoying, casting off some Locusts, but their time out, you know, they don't actually make it to the base, but good effort for Decoy here, you know, just the scouting Locust, guys. Intonation bringing his dropships to the fight, and it does look like we are going to have an engagement coming down shortly. Meanwhile, we do finally have some perimeter set up, a lot of turrets here. We don't want any drops coming in, and this is kind of what you need, especially to deal with all this bio. We do have Pupitus going to be moving in, getting straight up into the Zerg army face. A couple of things from the Swarm Host here coming in to help this Terran bio. We do have a pretty even fight here. Terran bio is going to be pushing out now. This would have been a different fight if he hadn't lost all those medevacs earlier, but we do have more reinforcing bio from Zoda going to be coming in. Meanwhile, Instant Agent is opting to just go for the counter push. Does a sneaky little drop there on the other side of the map, but not good for Decoy, because Decoy's actually going to be losing his whole army, and all these Swarm Hosts actually in the front of the lines don't need to be there. Going to be losing them all. Scan going down and all in burrow, and Decoy actually losing his entire army, so all this bio left unchecked is going to be pushing into the main base, but actually no, they're pulling back. Specs brought him back to the base here, going to be doing the drop of zone, getting a bunch of these workers. Do whatever damage you can. Spec's army is now at 2-2 upgrades. Meanwhile, Pupitus has only 2-1, and Zoda is at 2-2 as well. But Spec is going to be taking the lead against this purple army here, but Orange is going to be coming in to even it out. We do have more bio from everywhere. Everything's stimming, everything running away, and does look like Spec will abandon his troops once again and just save the medevacs. Not a big fan of taking his army with him. He just says, forget it, let's get out of here. But the damage has been done. Do get a pick on 2 bases, which is huge. Meanwhile, I am going to be pushing out forward, finally securing the 4th base, and finally have a decent number of tanks and Hellions here, and some Vikings. Going to be trying to push my own, but Ruma here also playing smart, has 4 tanks here, but he does need to spread them out a little bit because it's kind of easy to pick up all your tanks if you let them clump. Going to be moving forward. Hellions gets picked off here by these tanks, but going to be just trying to play it safe, and the good thing here is that he doesn't have any Vikings, so we can actually outrange him and kind of bait out all of his scans and slowly push our tanks forward because we have the air control and high vision. For those of you who don't know, tanks do fire farther than they can see, so if you have something in the air to spot for them, you get kind of a little bit extra range. Big fight here, a lot of bio fighting left and right. Looks like most of Instant Agent's bio has died. A couple medevacs here left, even going to be healing the Hydralisks for Decoy and all the Zerg stuff. Fun fact, guys, if you play Terran and go for bio, And if you have a Zerg ally, your medevacs will heal everything the Zerg has because they're all biological. You can do some weird stuff like medevac, muta, medevac ultra, whatever. But the bio push is going to be going in a couple of infestors. You do need to drop those fungal growths down, but they're actually getting sniped out. Don't think you have quite enough energy. You know, Instage is going to be pushing the +3 attack decoy here, going to be at 2-1. And do have a little bit of a scrappy game, but it's like most of the army has been pushed back. Nothing left here but a bunch of medevacs. But we do have the big mech push coming up top. Nice and slow, but we do have a lot of tanks here now. No upgrades on the tanks, unfortunately, but we are going to be pushing up. We have the superior tank numbers. It does look like Ruma realizes he needs to have some air control. Going to be getting some Vikings of his own, but we have more Vikings and we've been doing them non-stop. So unless he throws down more starports, he won't have any air control this game. But if he does have more air control, then we'll have the ground control. Anyways, going to be doing a little bit of cute micro battle here, even getting a Liberator in the mix to try to help with this push to kind of deal with these tanks. Moving the tanks forward a little bit. A lot of bio here going to be just getting eaten up by this tank line. I'm going to be moving these Hellbats here shortly. Meanwhile, big drop for Intonation, going to be dropping the purple base here. There is some bio here for Zoda, going to be helping to defend. Also 3-2, both even on the upgrades. It's going to be going at it. Meanwhile, we're just slowly inching this mech death ball up at the top. Meanwhile, Red finally moving out across the map. Decoy is going to actually attack this base and have some success this time. Did decide to switch to Infestors instead of going for the Swarm Host because they didn't really get anything done. Going to be going in. Planetary Fortress just about to finish, but cancels at the last minute. These Hydras doing incredible damage per second. Make quick work of that with the 2-2 upgrades. And it does look like we're just macroing up spec, still doing a lot of damage, just running around, doing some harassment where he can. And a big fungal growth gets a big chunk of Zoda's army here. I'm going to be trying to pick them off. There are a good amount of medevacs here, but there are a lot of Hydras, and they do have the better concave. But a couple of Marines going to be coming in from the back, trying to get a full surround on them, but there is not quite enough here. Hydra's just going to turn around, fungal, and eat the rest of that up. And losing all of his medevacs, losing a couple bases, does not look very good for the enemy Terran team. They are trying to drop some mules, trying to get back in this as much as they can, but there's the GG. They do decide to opt out. Going to be pushing the rest of this mech army in, tanks, Liberators, and Vikings, and going in for the checkmate. Ruma has left the game. There is nobody else left. Well, there's one player left. OJ. What do you got, OJ? Does have a big, well, decent supply of drops here. Going to be getting a couple more bio. It does look like he wants one more fight, and we're going to give it to him. Anyways, come scans going down. Just going to be using these Liberators to try to zone out the enemy. And he's going to be going in, trying to drop straight on my tanks. And he actually decides to split off and go for the main tank. A little bit of a blunder. He should have dropped those tanks. Those Vikings got some free picks on the medevacs, and the Hellbat's coming back to help support the rest of this. Meanwhile, Liberator going to be doing some damage. Vikings destroying the medevacs. And this looks like the enemy team has started to fall apart. Just waiting for the GG now. Going to be moving in, doing a little bit of work. Thor's here, but not going to do much. A little bit of bio at home, but no medevacs to support. And Red Zerg coming in from the bottom just to sandwich the enemy and completely pretty much end the game here. Anyways, going to be moving in, finishing up the rest of this army, moving the rest of the mech army in. At this point, we don't care. We're just going to be A-moving because we know we're going to do a lot of damage. Liberator picking off all the SBs running for their lives. One last engagement here. Zoda can be charging down the ramp, but then again, not good to ever charge down a ramp, especially when there's a Randy at the bottom because they funnel in. But actually, Marauders, I'm mistaken. I'm actually getting a little bit chewed up here. Going to be having to bring my mech back to the tank line. All my tanks were in tank mode there and actually just got completely destroyed by that bio. But we do have a couple more tanks to fall back to. Thankfully, going to be doing the rest of this army. And no GG from Zoda. A little bit salty there, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Does look like Decoy decided to go for Swarm Host again after all. But it's okay. Let me know what you guys think. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment. And